Hello friends, I want to tell you and explain a prophetic picture that I got recently in prayer. Have you ever noticed that every time I share a prophetic word or prophetic vision, it was something that I was given in the place of prayer? So I want to encourage you, you need to have personal prayer time with God every single day. And if your church or ministry you're part of has corporate prayer, do whatever it takes to get there on a weekly basis. I love the prayer meeting more than the church service because I just love prayer. But recently in a time of prayer, I just had a very simple, unique, and profound just vision. I saw just a brief picture, but I saw a man out in a field and he was plowing the ground. And then as he was plowing the ground, I saw a spout. And it was an older looking spout, kind of the older ones probably from like the 50s or the 60s, and water started gushing out of it. And the Lord just started speaking to me that this is a season that you need to till the ground, that you need to plow the ground, and you need to start planting seed. Now, in this vision, I saw the man tending to the ground, working the ground before the spout came out and before the water started pouring out. There's a time for you to tend to the ground. So let me ask you this. Whatever your jurisdiction is, whatever geographical location you're in, wherever your ministry is, your work is, whatever it may be, are you tending to what God has called you to do? What would you do if the outpouring of God's Spirit hit your work from last season? Ephesians 3:20 in the Amplified says that God will do super abundantly above all that we dare to ask, think, hope, or dream, or pray about. So I want to ask you, what if God did everything in this season that you prayed about in the last season? See, a lot of people never receive a harvest in their life because they don't ever tend to the ground. Think about this in the natural sense. A farmer goes out to a ground, he plows the ground, he tills the ground, he gets the ground ready, then he gets good seed, plants it in the ground, tends to the ground, keeps the weed out, and then all of a sudden the water falls, and then they produce a harvest, they produce crops, and then they're able to go in there and receive the harvest. Well, in our life, a lot of times we're praying, we're decreeing a harvest that we never planted anything on. Wouldn't it be silly for a farmer to go out there and kick the ground and get frustrated because no harvest came forth, but he didn't plant any seed? I believe in my spirit that this is a season that God is calling us to tend to the ground. Look at the field that you're planted in. Work the ground, till the ground, get the ground ready, and then get ready to put seed. It may be verbal seed, it may be financial seed, but get ready. Now, I have an opinion, and this is my thought. I'm always planting verbal seeds in the ground. I'm always planting financial seeds in the ground. Therefore, I'm always in harvest season. As long as you're always planting, you're always going to be reaping a harvest. So the thought for you today is this: plow, tend the ground, take care of the place that you are in, the place that God has strategically put you in for this season, because there is an overflow. There's an outpouring of God's Spirit. And whenever the Spirit of God hits something, the blessing of God hits something, the favor of God hits something, it starts to grow. What I like to do in my life and throughout our ministry, I always like to have seed in the ground. Like I said, prayer, fasting, and prophesying, declaring, decreeing verbal seed. And why I do that is because when the blessing of the Lord comes, I always have a lot of seed that could be watered. Therefore, I'm going to receive. I like to pray for all of my friends and all of the people in the Roar Apostolic family and pray those seeds into their lives. When the Spirit of God hits them in a strong way, they're going to have an abundant harvest. And so many people message me and be like, "Apostle, I know you've been praying for me. I can feel it." And so I encourage you today, get ready, work like it all depends on you, and pray like it all depends on God, because the outpouring of God is about to hit what you're doing in your life right now.